I'm here today to talk to you about FIRPTA withholding and withholding certificates, and really how to get a withholding certificate if you're subject to FIRPTA withholding. I'm trying to keep this video brief, under 5 minutes, so I'm going to just get into it. So, foreign individuals, if you don't live in the U.S., you don't have a U.S. green card or U.S. passport, you're not a citizen, you don't live here, nothing. If you sell U.S. real estate, any property located in the U.S., the person who's buying from you is required to withhold 15% of the gross selling price. So if you sell a house for $1 million, if you sell a house for $1 million and you're a foreign person, the person who's buying your house is required to withhold $150,000, 15%, and they're required to remit it to the IRS. If they don't do that and they just buy the house, take it, and give you your $1 million, you leave, never file a tax return, the person who bought from you is on the hook for that money. So because most people go through brokerages and get loans, those people generally know what they're doing, so they won't even let them, the brokerage people won't let the buyers not withhold the money. So if you're a foreign person and let's say you just bought a house and you sell it the next year, you don't, that same $1 million example, you don't make $150,000, you don't make a gain that would subject to $150,000 tax. You basically, it's a wash. You just lost money, or you sell it for the same amount you bought it for. There's no gain. You're not subject to any tax. So you're saying, why do I have to have $150,000 withheld and then file a tax return showing no gain and claim a refund? You don't have to. You have to get a withholding certificate, but to do it, it's kind of complicated. So this is the 8288B. This is the form you need to file. You need to file this, you need to have a contract for selling the house, and you need to have everything down. You need to have the contract price, you need to have the date you plan to sell it and everything, and you need to mail it before it's, you need to mail this before you close the contract. You need to mail it to the IRS. And there's instructions that tell you exactly where to mail it. The hiccup that I've seen a lot, and everyone's asking about this, the hiccup is that you need a tax ID number. And a lot of foreign people come over and they don't have, they'll buy a house and they won't get a tax ID number, so they have to apply for that too. And there's special procedures for doing this. In this situation, when you have 8288B, there's IRS guidance you can see on this page. I'll link it in the video. IRS I-10 guidance for foreign property sellers. It's pretty clear. The main thing is you file a Form W-7, which is the application for an I-10. And the real unique thing is you put on box H other, you put exception 4. You still need to put Jim Baker, that's my name, your address, proof of ID, and a certified copy of the ID. If you need to do this quick, which you probably will be in this situation, you would want to visit a certified acceptance agent, and they're kind of licensed by the IRS to approve legal documents, and you go to them, you fill this form out, and you bring your passport, and they certify that it's real, so that you can get this done quick, and you just mail it to the IRS. They approve it, stamp it, and give you your number. And that's how that works. Otherwise, you have to mail either your actual passport or a certified copy, not a notarized copy, but a certified copy of your passport, which would be, you have to go to the embassy, your country's embassy or official office, wherever they issued your passport, and get them to make a color copy and stamp it and say it's authentic and original. And then you mail it in with this completed form. They process it and they send it back. So you're going to need a tax ID. And for those situations where it's two foreign parties, there's a foreign buyer and a foreign seller, the people that are required to do the withholding also need tax ID numbers. So the I-10 guidance, it says buyers and sellers on here. So really, if you're a foreign person that owns a house, selling the house to a foreign person or if you're a foreign person that owns the property and you're selling the property to another foreign person, and they need to get do the withholding, they need to get their tax IDs as well. So there's instructions here for doing that for 8288 and 8288A, and those are right here. These are basically the reporting the transfer and remitting the withholding. There's very complicated rules for completing these forms, but you can look up the instructions and read line by line how to do it. I'm not going to go into everything, but It's a U.S. withholding tax return for dispositions by foreign persons of U.S. property interests. So, and this is the A. This is the statement of withholding. So, again, you want to do if you're not recognizing a gain and you just don't want you want to keep your 15% of your selling price, you need to get a completed 8288B. So there's three things that you really need to remember. First thing, you got to send this form. You need to have a contract for the property. You need to have tax ID numbers, and you need to send the form before you close on the property. So